very interesting new report from a Fox Business reporter, Charles Gasparino. Let's throw this up there on the screen. According to Charles's sources, he hears from investment bankers that Amazon chief and Washington Post owner Jeff Bezos is looking to create a media empire and is even looking at the possibility of buying CNN from AT&T after they have shed debt load following the Time Warner deal. Just for context, AT&T and Time Warner, of course, had that huge merger back in 2017 that included the acquisition of CNN. The merger has by and large been a little bit of a disaster for AT&T and Time Warner. It seems like anything Time Warner touches is like terrible, but that's just history. The interesting part there is that what does this mean? I think this is very clear to me. He thinks that Joe Biden is going to win the presidency and that Joe Biden's FTC would clear such a deal. The richest man in the world could own the second most powerful newspaper and one of the three major cable networks. If that doesn't concern you, I really don't know what to say. And it's amazing because how many media reporters picked this story up? Not one. I didn't see only Charles over at Fox. All of these Daily Beast folks who are always writing about, or Daily Beast, CNN, and so many others who are always writing about holding power to account and, Rupert Murdoch. And look, I think that's good.
Brian Stelter didn't cover this
one. I think that we should know what Rupert Murdoch is doing and thinking when he controls so much of the media. But Jeff Bezos now wants to be Rupert Murdoch, except he's got 10 times the amount of money that Rupert Murdoch has. I mean, it's crazy.
And it's not just the amount of money, okay? That's a problem in and of itself, like someone with such extraordinary wealth, richest man in the world, but the amount of control that he has over all facets of our economy. I mean, we've covered here extensively the treatment of the workers, the way that, malls are closing and Amazon is moving in. I mean, Amazon
literally is a distribution center.
Literally moving in, which is just a perfect symbol of the way that they have gotten their tentacles into all aspects and facets of our economy with often devastating results, certainly for working class people, certainly for communities where that, whatever local businesses, in the same way that Walmart, sucked out local capital and local entrepreneurial capital in communities. Amazon is doing that same thing where, your local money is no longer staying there. It's going to, their headquarters into the top executives. So the amount of control that they have. And then, look, we've talked about this in the Washington Post. Actually, Bernie, remember that people got so mad at Bernie when he was like, do you think that the fact that Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post has anything to do with their coverage? And everyone's like, how could he say that? Right. No way. That's impossible. Can't be. So now you're going to have potentially Bezos owning Washington Post, owning CNN. And, is that going to impact their coverage? Look, even if he doesn't come into, the editorial meeting and be like, hey guys, you can't do that story. It's a little critical of me. Do you think that the reporters, do you think that the analysts there are going to have a lot of incentive to critically cover Amazon?
No.
To expose the working conditions there that are abhorrent or their monopolistic practices, unfair trade practices? Do you think that they're going to have any incentive to do that? No, they're going to shy away from it.
How elite networks work is once you purchase the Washington Post and CNN, think about this. Do you know how many people who work at the New York Times and many other papers in the country are CNN contributors who also get part of their income from Jeff Bezos then, possibly? Or same thing. Everybody in D.C. wants to work at the Washington Post or the New York Times, which means even if you don't work there, you can't say anything bad about them because then you're never going to be invited back. Look, said some things here about Michael Bloomberg. Been a long time since I got an invite to go on Bloomberg TV or on Bloomberg Radio. Used to go sometimes. That's fine. I'm willing to make that sacrifice. A lot of people aren't. And I think that is something that we need to understand about how these elite networks work. So when you purchase just one thing, you control the whole empire, the whole feeding mechanism in which nobody in this town can say anything bad about Jeff Bezos. He's got the biggest house in Washington, literally the biggest one, and apparently throws the best parties. So when nobody wants to throw,
we haven't gotten
got an invite. Keep checking my email. I'll continue to do so. But Yeah, you don't want to miss out on that. You don't want to miss out on getting into the Gridiron Club, which Jeff Bezos is also. I can go on, in terms of how this all works, but it's important.
So he controls the retail commerce in the country, controls the online space, controls our data, cloud computing. That's actually
Amazon Web Services.
Tons of their money at this point, and now you're also going to control the news media. So if anything goes wrong in any of those massive global enterprises that dictate so much of the pace of life in this country, then you got your back covered.
I've said it here before. There are more people who have Amazon Prime in America than eat apple pie, okay? It's more American than apple pie to have Amazon Prime. So you don't think that Americans should be concerned about how the company does business? I do.
All right. Very interesting. All right, more Rising for you after this.